It was a big day for WWE. Not only was this the post WrestleMania episode of Raw, but a sale to Endeavor, the UFC's parent company, was announced in the early hours of the morning. The two-night WrestleMania extravaganza certainly delivered some memorable moments, but not all of them will be remembered fondly. Roman Reigns retaining the undisputed Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes shocked a lot of people and upset almost as many. Meanwhile, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens winning the undisputed tag team championship on Saturday night was the biggest feel-good moment of the whole weekend. Last night's show dealt with the fallout from Mania and began the build for the next pay-per-view, Backlash, on Saturday, May 6th in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Let's take a look at everything that happened on last night's episode of Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streamio.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined, as always, by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We got the Phenom, Michael Bullock. Very, very newsworthy day, but not in a good way. I mean, yes, there was the sale announcement of WWE and Endeavor merging, but it was what happened on last night's edition of Monday Night Raw, 24 hours ago. And the uproar was so bad that good old MF Michael Fletcher decided to call an audible, and we did our reviews of NXT TakeOver, NXT Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania 39 last night. We were originally planning on doing that tonight and doing Ridiculously Raw in our traditional time slot. But because we were so up in arms about what happened last night, and you'll know why when we go through this, we definitely needed something positive to talk about and think about, and that's exactly what we did. We did our recaps of Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania 39. Check it out right here in the archives. And unfortunately, you've heard me use this term on many occasions, and last night's Raw, more than any show that we can remember for a long time, epitomized the words "back to reality." Last night was as back to reality of a show as you could possibly have. And why is that? Because unfortunately, our worst nightmare is now a reality. Vince McMahon is now once again in charge of creative. Don't believe me? Let's go down last night's show. I dare you to tell me this was not a Vince McMahon show. It was live last night from the Crypto.com arena, formerly the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Episode 1558. And this is an episode that nobody is going to remember. Is going to remember anytime soon. I've already forgotten about it. That's how much I've. But anyways, let's dive on in. We started with a rare on-camera appearance from Triple H, the man who should be still in charge of creative. They say he is, but we ain't no Johnny-come-latelys on the block. He basically came out and said that he thanked the fans for the resounding success of WrestleMania 39, and yes, it was a resounding success. Over 161,000 combined people on those two nights, the highest grossing event in history, social media, the whole 9 yards. Look it up. You'll see all the history that they made. But he basically came out and thanked the fans and put over the hardworking men and women who, made the whole production possible. And he went on to say that WWE, that despite the sale, that despite the big sale that went down early in the morning, that WWE was not going anywhere. And I'm like, okay, all right. And we were thinking, okay, maybe he still is in charge of creative. I don't know. But That's all he did was talk about the success of WrestleMania weekend, thank the wrestlers, staff, and crew for making the whole thing possible. He also thanked the WWE Universe for allowing them to entertain us. He made mention of the sale of Endeavor, but did not go into details or really even say much at all. He just said WWE was all anyone could, and said that that WWE was going nowhere. But then he introduced the undisputed Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. After taking a very long time to get to the ring, the Tribal Chief took in the crowd and its reaction with a big smile on his face right after he told everyone to acknowledge him. Immediately interrupted by Cody Rhodes. Cody's music hit, and he came out holding his ribs to sell the brutality of their main event. The American Nightmare said yesterday worked out much differently than he had planned. He said he would have had Reigns if it wasn't for the outside help he received. He asked for a rematch, but Cody had no interest in that. Rhodes pivoted and asked for a tag match because he just wanted to get in the ring with Reigns again. This challenge was accepted with two conditions. Rhodes had to pick someone who worked WrestleMania as his partner, and whoever teamed with him would never get another title shot. Enter Brock Lesnar. Came out with a huge smile on his face, Cowboy Brock. And the promo and then it made the match. We thought was going to be one of the best tag team, was going to be one of the most anticipated tag team main events in some time. Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. The promo from Rhodes and Reigns was little more than one guy saying, "I want to fight you again." After what we saw on Sunday night, a lot of fans were probably hoping for something more substantial. It was fine, but it wasn't much. Brock Lesnar showing up as Cody Rhodes' partner was a cool surprise, but that was the most notable thing that happened. So there isn't much more to say on this. So good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. Triple H starts the show, thanking everybody for the resounding success of WrestleMania, and said WWE wasn't going anywhere despite the big sale that happened early in the day. And then enter Roman and along with Heyman and Solo, and then Cody comes out and he asks for a rematch. Oh boy, if we had gotten the rematch, oh my goodness, that would have been the biggest thing that would have been the biggest main event in Raw history. But that did not happen. Set up a tag team match with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa against Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. So MF, come on in. Your thoughts on the start of last night's Raw after WrestleMania?
I will say this. I thought the promo was fine by Triple H. I was hoping for something more, honestly. I think we all were hoping maybe an announcement of a new belt, maybe a WWE draft, just something that was going to shake things up a bit. Unfortunately, it didn't. It wasn't what we were expecting, and we never got what we wanted. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad at Hunter for that. I get it. At the end of WWE, who knows how this plays out? But I will say this. I think at this point in the game, it was just one of those where anything can happen, and we were just hoping we didn't know what we were going to get. Normally, Raw after Manias, it's anybody's guess. You know how crazy this could get. So, obviously, we were excited. We were very optimistic. And then once we get that, then yeah, you get your action, you get your matches, then you get Roman and Solo. Cody comes out, and obviously Cody has a right and a gripe to say, hey, I want another shot. Obviously, Roman has the right to say no, and everybody pretty much said, you ain't getting the fight, you ain't getting the match. You know what? All right, we'll do this. You want to win your right, you want to win the right, you got to fight, in a tag team. And if you win, then you get your shot at the title. Okay. You lose, though, then as long as Roman Reigns is the undisputed Universal Champion, you're not getting a glimpse of the title at all. Fair enough. Deal's done. They could have gone a number of ways, but to get Brock Lesnar, and Cody versus Roman and Solo, on paper, this would have been the most highly anticipated matches for WWE. And I know a lot of people bought in initially for this match. So the expectations were there. Where it goes beyond that, well, you're just going to have to wait and find out how we feel about it later in the night. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, like you said, the promo, from Triple H was fine. Like you said, I was expecting like some kind of big announcement, like maybe a new belt or what have you. But we didn't get any of that. And like I said, and like Fletch said, I'm not gonna be mad at Hunter for this. And then Roman comes out, and you just heard the crowd. They were literally booing the living daylights out of Roman Reigns because, like the three of us, a good majority thought Cody was gonna come out as the champion. But boy, howdy, we got swerved big time, and Roman is still the champion. And as the boo birds were coming out, Roman was smiling. It's like, hey, I don't care what you people think, and you may not like it, but, and as Florio has said so many times, what does Batista or as we like to call him, Bootista like to say?
Deal with it.
Exactly. You say you may not like it, but you're gonna have to deal with it. And Cody comes out and says he wants another shot at the title. And Heyman and Reigns said, nah, no chance. And then he offers a tag team match. And it's going to be Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. And Cody Rhodes against a partner of his choosing. And there were a lot of things. Especially since this was the Raw after Mania. We were thinking that it could be a surprise, but it was Brock Lesnar. On paper, this was definitely one of the highly anticipated matches. But, well, you'll have to wait and find out with this. And there's really nothing more to say. So, Florio, I think this is at the point where it goes downward.
Yeah, this is where the show falls off the cliff here, folks. And yes, I'm glad you guys mentioned that. I'm still so overwhelmed from last night that and not in a good way, of course, that I forgot about, those things about Triple H.
Oh, believe me, not in a good way for me as well. And I'm putting the warning out right now. When we get to our overall thoughts, you're getting a rant from me.
The gloves are coming off. The
gloves are coming off. I'm getting my Undertaker shovel and burying somebody 6 feet under. And also, remember that scene, Florio, when the Undertaker went after that stage guy wondering where Ric Flair's office was?
How could I forget?
When he said, Ric Flair, the car of the company, your boss, where is he? His office!
Yeah.
Was that so hard? Damn it! That's going to be me tonight.
I don't blame you. We're adding to the we're sharing with our fellow disgruntled fans. Believe me, they're not the only ones. We're not the only ones. So, And you wonder why we're disgruntled? Well, let's start. I give you Exhibit A. The first match, Omos versus Elias? Nobody wanted to see that. Did MF want to see that? Hell no. Did I want to see it? Hell no. 1 minute and 40 seconds, Omos wins. Dude, we're not wasting any damn time. Move on.
The funny thing is with that was that, and this is where I think everybody started to think, wait a minute, what is this? And here's where everything started to play. Omos did not know
This is true.
about that match. Because if you read dirt sheets, now we know everything, how everything got laid out. So I think it's best that we lay this out as well. Omos was not even scheduled to be on Raw. He was chilling. Yeah, he was in catering, kicking back, relaxing, enjoying his night off. And they literally told him, you're going out tonight. You're going to perform. We don't even know if he had his ring gear ready for this show.
He had to scramble.
So basically, he got literally thrown out of nowhere last minute to go out and wrestle. I don't think Elias knew what was happening. Omos didn't know what was happening. At that point, that's where you could say, I smell a rat. Something stinks. And sure enough, like we said, this is only the beginning of what led on. So go ahead, Florio, what's yours?
As I was saying, Omos won. It was Omos versus Elias. Omos won the match. 1 minute and 40 seconds. Delicious squash for Omos. Elias got no offense. Absolute dud. Worst fight of the night. Moving on. Yes, the show fell off the cliff, but here's the thing. There were a few positives, and here was one of the few positives here. Rey Mysterio, new Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, comes out, cuts a promo, and got interrupted by the United States Heavyweight Champion Austin Theory. And it leads into a match. Impromptu match, non-title, Austin Theory versus Rey Mysterio. Austin Theory wins the match, 9 minutes and 20 seconds, with a little help from Dominic Mysterio. And then after the match was over, Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest went to town on Rey Mysterio, only for Bad Bunny to come in and make the save, but he got jumped. And you want to talk about a full circle moment in reverse. 2 years ago, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest were a tag team. They were tag team partners 2 years ago in what many people are calling the greatest celebrity match. But then again, that might have been surpassed by Roman Reigns and Logan Paul. I think that's now the new greatest celebrity match in history. But for 2 years before, the best celebrity match at WrestleMania was when Bad Bunny and Damian Priest teamed up against The Miz and John Morrison. They were close as brothers. Not last night. Damian Priest beat the you-know-what out of Bad Bunny, and he chokeslammed him through the ringside announce table. Whoa. Okay. MF, like I said, one of the few positives here. Austin Theory defeats Rey Mysterio, 9 minutes and 20 seconds in a solid match. But then afterwards, Damian Priest attacks Bad Bunny. I think we're looking at a possible tag team match, maybe at Backlash. Rey and Bad Bunny against Dominic and Damian in Puerto Rico.
They wanted Bad Bunny to be a part of the show. They were working for an angle or any way that we could get Bad Bunny on the show. And yes, it looks like that is the path that they're going to go. It seems like that is the possible route that they want to go. And quite frankly, I think the fans are going to enjoy it. Bad Bunny has proven himself to be worthy of the opportunity. And especially if you saw him compete, not only has he competed in a match at WrestleMania, he also was a part of the Royal Rumble. Everybody remembers he hit that Canadian Destroyer on Riddle, and it was picture perfect. So I think for him to do it, Bad Bunny and Rey Mysterio, with the help of the LWO, now to go up against Dom and Damian, it serves its purpose. I think the storyline would be good. I think it would be perfect for everything to play out the way it is. This is one of those moments where I thought Hunter maybe had power here. You know, this is one of those moments where I thought, all right, maybe Hunter is in control here a little bit, because he is very high on Bad Bunny. He did let them have this amazing match at WrestleMania. So the story said sold it for itself. So I thought that, honestly, I thought Hunter was in control of this story with this storyline. So I could see how it plays out. I think it's very interesting to show everything that lays out. And yeah, what Damian Priest did was I mean, you want to talk about best friend, bitter enemies. That's exactly what they were. That was shocking. It was incredible. And at the end of the day, it only just kind of adds to that aura or that little extra. Even Triple H was even alluding to it, that he's very high on Bad Bunny. He would love to have him work again, but right now he was just the host of WrestleMania, the host of Backlash in Puerto Rico, and to do it to do it over there, we'll wait and see. But let me tell you now, especially after what happened last night, it almost opens the door for us to say, yeah, this is happening. So it would be perfect too. So nothing more to say. Bullock, is yours. By the way, the match is about 2.5 to 3.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 for me on this as well. But yeah, I mean, Dominic and Damian were doing a 2-on-1 beatdown, but yeah, and then basically Bad Bunny slapped Dominic Mysterio, and then obviously because Dominic was not happy about Bad Bunny getting involved and taking the chain away. And then Damian, like you said, 2 years ago, these two tagged against The Miz and John Morrison. Boy, how things have changed. But here's the thing, Bad Bunny. This Damian Priest is a lot different than the one that you tagged with. He's more darker. He's more evil. And unfortunately for you, you found out the hard way when he chokeslammed you through the table. Yeah, so it's definitely leading towards Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny against Dominic and Damian Priest at Backlash. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say on it. So, it's yours, Florio.
And a shout out to our dear friend Daniel Luttrell, who posted the comment there. Was a great beatdown. Yes, I 100%. We all definitely agree on that. We're with you there. No question about that. And also one of the very few positives that came out of this show last night. But anywho, for me, it was a solid 3 stars for the effort. Match was decent, but something was holding them back during the first half. They picked up during the second half and had some nice spots before a distraction by Dominic allowed Austin Theory to hit A-Town down for the win. Dom attacked his dad after the match as Damian Priest directed traffic. Dom walked over to Bad Bunny and traded some words with him before he smacked Dom in the face. Priest pulled Bunny over the barricade, laid him out after he punched Dom again. And like we said, it looks like it will very likely be Dominic and Damian Priest squaring off against Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny at Backlash in Puerto Rico. But we will have to wait for the official announcement. Beforehand, the beautiful Kathy Kelly interviewed Bad Bunny about being the host of WrestleMania, or I should say the host of Backlash, rather. Remember, it's just Backlash now. It's not WrestleMania Backlash anymore. We got to make that clear. Theory stumbled over his words a little in his promo, but he got through it. First hour was commercial free, and all we got was Omos versus Elias and a minute of this match before the first break. It was a poor use of time. And the back elbow strike Theory used was brutal when he connected. Ray hit the mat like a ton of bricks. So yeah. Solid 3 for me. Second best fight of the night. Then we heard from the brand new undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. You know, they cut a promo about what happened for WrestleMania. Yes, and Daniel Luttrell posted another comment. We'll post that. We'll save that for the overall review there, Dan. So we got you. But anyways, let me get into this here. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They cut a promo. And think about this. I mean, full circle moment for both of these guys. A year ago, 2 years ago at WrestleMania, they had a match against each other. Last year, these two men experienced big-time humiliation. We got what happened was Kevin Owens was embarrassed by Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event of night 1 last year. And then Sami Zayn got roped into a campy comedy match with Johnny Knoxville, even though there actually were some fans who actually enjoyed that match. So, but nonetheless, KO and Sami got humiliated 1 year ago. And 1 year later, they go from that humiliation and embarrassment to becoming the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Full circle moment for those two. And then they got interrupted by the winners of the men's WrestleMania Showcase match, the Street Profits. And it leads into another impromptu match, but it was a non-title match. So it was KO and Sami against the Street Profits. And the winners of the match in 12 minutes and 55 seconds, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Michael Bullock, nothing left to say except hands down fight of the night. What a match.
Yeah, what a match with these two. I'll give this about 3.5 stars. Yeah, the fight of the night, hands down, and yeah, I mean this was a really good match here, and yeah, the Profits definitely gave him all he can handle, and a pretty good first match for Owens and Zayn as the new tag team champions. So yeah, so we'll see what's next for them. And like you said, Florio, as I give it to you, this was definitely another one of the few positives when it comes to this edition of Monday Night Raw. As I give it to you.
3.5 stars for me. This was hands down the fight of the night. I would have loved for this to have been, because I mean, since the Street Profits won that WrestleMania Showcase match, I think it would have made sense for this to be a title match instead of a non-title match. The only way this non-title would have made sense is if the Street Profits would have won it, and then we would have had a championship committee moment. But nonetheless, all right. Once Montez Ford got the tag, he and Angelo Dawkins were able to take control. The Profits weren't exactly working as heels, but a few things they did throughout the match may be signs that a heel turn is in the cards. WWE gave them 2 full segments for the match, so they had plenty of time to put on a good performance without rushing from move to move. This was a fun match. The only criticism, there was not a sense of urgency. even though Ford and Dawkins probably would have earned most definitely would have earned the title shot had they won, it never felt like anyone was fighting for anything special. Profits had a great showing, but KO and Sammy were able to get the win with a stunner and a haluva kick to Montez Ford. Maybe WWE didn't mix the sound like it usually does, but the pop for Sammy and KO did not sound nearly as loud as you would expect it to be. The Profits looked, Angelo Dawkins bragging about knocking down Braun Strowman during that WrestleMania showcase match was earned. That was a fun spot last Saturday. Sammy's dive over the top, Sammy's tope con hilo on the both Profits looked good, but Montez Ford's tope con hilo was even better. 2 tope con hilos for the price of 1. That made Michael Bullock very happy. Montez Ford's blockbuster Doomsday Device is a great spot, and then Sammy had to get Montez Ford into position for the haluva kick. It was kind of an awkward moment at the end of the match, but other than that, fight of the night for me. 3.5 stars, and yes, Daniel Luttrell at it again. Yes, we couldn't agree more. You're not the only one who feels this way. I think you, the three of us, and all of our fellow WWE fans echo our sentiments. They were hands down. These guys hands down had the best moment of WrestleMania. So happy for Owens and Zayn. Won a match at Mania against the Usos. Yes, absolutely. One of 4 5-star classic matches that we saw at WrestleMania. We had 4 5-star classics. That's how great that WrestleMania was. And they stole the dang show on Saturday night. And they obviously saw what Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley did. They were like, hold our beer. And they went out there and they put on even more of a banger than Charlotte and Rhea did the match before. So, and then fight of the night again. Yes, absolutely. So, so there isn't much more to say on that. 3.5 stars, fight of the night for me. So not much more to say here. MF, solid first showing for for our new tag team champions, and won a match against the Street Profits. Imagine if the titles had been on the line.
Yeah, if the titles would have been on the line, obviously championship committee moment. But at the end of the day, great battle, great fight, great wrestling all the way through. 3.5 stars. Totally agree with everything you guys have said, and nothing more to add. So, Floria, let's move on.
What were the 4 or 5-star classics, Daniel Luttrell? Very simple. If you didn't see our recap show last night, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos. Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. And despite the horrific ending,
the main event,
Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns.
Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
Yep, those were the 4 or 5 stars that made WrestleMania 39 an all-timer when it comes to WrestleManias. No doubt about that. All right, so Bullock started it. So so with that, let's continue on here. All right, now Seth frickin' Rollins, he came out, and all he did was he didn't do anything. All he did was just stand there in the ring while the crowd did the oh. That's all they did, and that was it. And then Kathy Kelly interviewing Bobby Lashley. Of course, Bobby Lashley, the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal last Friday night on SmackDown. Talked about how he didn't get a WrestleMania match, which we're still baffled about. He was supposed to have one, but we all know what happened with that. But Bronson Reed showed up. We were thinking, are we going to get a Bronson Reed Bobby Lashley match? That would have been a man fight. But down the road, we'll get that. And then enter Mustafa Ali. And Mustafa Ali, he came out and he got in Bobby Lashley's face. Lashley wasn't having it, so it led into another impromptu match. Bobby Lashley versus Mustafa Ali. Bobby Lashley wins the match in 40 seconds. Another dud. We're not going to waste any more time on that. But Trell again, yes, absolutely the Gunther match. Absolutely agree with you that the 4 matches that we mentioned were all amazing matches, and we even took it a step further. We all agreed that the Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre match at WrestleMania will now go down as the greatest Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match in WrestleMania history. I never thought we'd see an Intercontinental match that would surpass the likes of Savage and Steamboat, Roddy Piper and Bret Hart, and the Razor Shawn ladder match from 10. I thought there was never going to be another match that would top any of those 3, but that one did. Regardless of whether you liked the outcome or you didn't. Even though I kind of wanted to see Sheamus win, but it is what it is. But Gunther is just at another level. But anywho, then we had some backstage stuff, and then here comes another rare positive here. We heard from the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, who is now over 1 year as champion, and she was interrupted by the SmackDown Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. And gentlemen, could we be looking at a possible unification match down the road?
I have to say no. I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna. I just don't feel like it would be necessary right now, because you don't want to pin yourself into a position like WWE did. They made a mistake by unifying the tag team titles. They made a mistake by unifying the world championships. I don't think they want to make a third mistake in unifying the women's tag team title, the women's titles. I think right now would not be the best. It's not time. There would not be a right idea to do it.
Yeah, I'm with Fletch on this one. I mean, they already made a mistake with unifying the Universal and WWE titles, and the same thing with the tag titles. They don't want to make the same mistake again with the women's titles, especially with the mess WWE is in right now, as we already know. So,
right.
I mean, the last thing you want to do is add another layer to it. I mean, if you do this, I mean, you thought WWE was in bad shape already. This would add another level to it.
All right. So with that, let's continue on. Well, what happened here was we had that face off with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. I was hoping they were going to set up a unification match, but no such luck. Who knows? Maybe they could be saving that for WrestleMania 40 next year in Philly. You never know. So we'll see. And then here comes another one of those. And then this is where McMagma strikes again. Originally, there were scheduled to be 2 triple threat matches. 2 triple threat matches were supposedly in the cards to determine the next challenger for Bianca Belair in the Raw Women's Championship. Those got scrapped. And here comes another comment from Daniel Luttrell. He says, I believe this is just a hint at a match between them after one of them loses the belt. I'm predicting Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 40 for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That would be interesting. So we'll wait and see what happens. So major foreshadowing there, but you never know. We'll see. But like I said, there was supposed to be 2 women's triple threat matches. Neither of them happened. And instead, McMagma gave us this. A number 1 contenders match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Damage Control, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, the former champions, squaring off against SmackDown's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez win the match in an even 7 minutes. They were given a decent amount of time to work, so all 4 women had their own moment to stand out. Nothing we saw here was super memorable, but we didn't see anything really bad either. Perfectly serviceable filler match to find new number 1 contenders. And and it'll be next Monday night. It'll be next Monday night on Raw in Seattle, where we will see Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez challenge Becky Lynch and Lita for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Which, if somehow, some way all goes well, maybe that could end up being a decent match. I don't have it. I'm not overly confident about that, but we're gonna have to wait and find out. But nonetheless, I'll give this about 2.5 stars for the effort. So not much more to say here. MF, your girls from SmackDown, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, better be counting their lucky stars and thanking McMagma, because now next Monday night in Seattle, they get an opportunity against Becky Lynch and Lita in Seattle for those women's tag titles.
Yeah, I really would love to have wondered what they were going to do with that triple threat. The 2 triple threats where the winner gets a shot at Bianca. But this was serviceable enough. And maybe this is why they did it, because is it possible that they're thinking of taking the belts off of Lita, and maybe this is where they might start planting the seeds of the breakup between Lita, Trish, and Becky? Maybe have the SmackDown women take the belts here, let them hold on to it for a little bit, because we all know that a lot of people were very high on Liv Morgan. There's a lot of people very high on Raquel Rodriguez. So maybe give them the moment. I don't know. As far as the decision goes, yeah, I was a little upset because we did hear about maybe a couple of triple threat matches again. We don't know what it was going to look like. But as far as this coming from McMahon, I'm not going to be as harsh as a lot of people were. I think this is out of all of the most egregious things that happen on this show, this is not egregious. For me, it's okay. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not going to come after you hardcore like everybody else did. I said this was an okay more than anything else. 2.5 stars, you're right. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it was okay, but I really would have loved to see what would have happened if they did have the triple threat to determine the next challengers for the Raw Women's title. But this is one that I'm actually okay with, even though there are others who are literally trashing this. But it is what it is. So, what was the time of the fall?
An even 7 minutes.
2.5 stars is what I'll give it. So nothing more to say. Let's move on.
Daniel Luttrell asks our opinion on the Bray Wyatt situation. Are you guys fans and missing him? He's a massive Bray Wyatt fan and wish he had appeared at Mania. Absolutely. I mean, go back to October.
On that.
Go back to October. Go back to October. Extreme Rules. He returned to a monster pop. Did you remember how massive that pop was when he came back?
Yes.
And we thought something was, and with Triple H with Papa H in charge, we thought something big was going to happen with him. We thought maybe he was finally going to get, a big time push. But ever since really that match at the Royal Rumble with LA Knight, that Mountain Dew Pitch Black match.
Yeah.
That's really where the downfall started. I mean, the original plan was for him and Brock Lesnar to go at it at WrestleMania, but unfortunately, Brock Lesnar said no. Brock Lesnar didn't want any part of it. And then they went with the next best option, which was Bobby Lashley, but they teased it early in the build to WrestleMania, but unfortunately, nothing happened. And here's another guy who's been a victim of McMagma. I mean,
well, no, okay. This is where I gotta defend. This had nothing to do with Vince. This was all on Bray Wyatt. Wyatt got hurt secretly, and he was not in a good place in order to be at WrestleMania. They pulled the plug because Wyatt was unfit to compete. That's what happened. they were going to do Lashley versus Wyatt at Mania. And then they pulled the plug because Wyatt was not, he wasn't there. Physically, mentally, emotionally, he was not at a capacity that he would have been able to perform at WrestleMania. That's what happened. So before everybody starts jumping saying, oh, it was McMahon, no. Wyatt pulled himself out because of that. And this isn't from any stupid dirt sheets or from jackasses that don't know shit about wrestling. I did my homework. I followed it up. This is the reporting that I got. So take it for what it's worth.
Read into it what you will.
Well, unfortunately, there are still some out there who aren't buying into that. What you just mentioned. I mean, I believe it, but
well, you know what? Then those people who don't give two shits can go fuck themselves. I'm sorry. I'm sick and tired of all these ninny nanny YouTube pricks thinking that they can do shit and think that they know everything about professional wrestling. You don't know crap about certain situations or certain things that happen. A man's life was being affected by the business, and that's what you want to do. Armchair quarterbacking, go fuck yourselves. That's what I say about that.
Okay, I mean that I totally did not expect that. I mean, I expected you to be upset, but you took it a whole new level. Whew. Holy
that
shit!
Was the Cerebral Viper side right there, folks. So
and that is why we always say, don't get on Fletch's bad side, because if you do, he's gonna go Cerebral Viper on you, and not in a good way.
No. But
unfortunately, you and I, Florio, found out the hard way one time.
Almost 6 years ago. Yes. Don't believe me.
And we learned we learned our lesson from that.
May 19th, 2017. Go back and watch that sports show we did. So, but yes, but to answer Daniel Trell's question here, it's a sad situation. Bray Wyatt is someone who I felt had untapped potential, enormous potential to be a big star. And unfortunately, he got dealt the bad hand. And, you know, it's just a damn shame about what happened to him. I mean, he finally won the title in 2017, Elimination Chamber. We thought he was going to get a decent run with it. He only had it for 7 weeks before they fed him to Randy Orton at WrestleMania in one of the worst title matches in WrestleMania history. And ever since that, he never really recovered from that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he had a few moments here and there, you know, winning the Raw Tag Team titles with Matt Hardy. Him and Matt Hardy, that was a fun ass team.
Winning the Universal title as the Fiend.
Yep, the Fiend, absolutely. That Fiend character, I thought was going somewhere. I thought that thing was going somewhere, but
yeah,
oh boy, did that come crashing down. And it was really Bill Goldberg when they fed him to Goldberg in Saudi Arabia.
That should never have happened. That should never have happened. And that was definitely McMahon. Like, yeah. We all can agree with that. That was McMahon's fault for what happened there. Because we all were saying that this was the best thing that they could have done. And then for him to drop the belt like that, yeah, that without a doubt, that absolutely sucked the life out of any momentum that he had.
Never the same after that, and then what really did it was that WrestleMania fiasco 2 years ago with Randy Orton when Alexa Bliss had all that lung butter all over her. So, yeah.
And and that also confused a lot of fans. Like even we were kind of like, wait, what? What the heck? Why? Like, but then they were trying to play that role of like Bray and Alexa, and that there's still like you even noticed they were actually before everything was going on, before Bray stepped away because of his medical leave. They were actually working on that Wyatt 7 and
Wyatt 6, yeah.
the Wyatt 6. But here's something that I guess we could let everybody out of the bag now. There were going to be 6 of them. Alexa was going to be involved, and she was going to be one of the 6. 2 guys that actually just showed up, Vincent and PCO, actually were going to join WWE, and they were actually going to be 4 of the 6.
Wow.
Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy was 5. And then they were going to actually bring back Eric Rowan, aka Eric Redbeard. He was the 6th and final one. That was your Wyatt 6.
Hell of a lineup. I'll say that.
Yep.
Would have been impressive if that had happened, but yeah, the WrestleMania.
I don't think it's happening now.
Obviously,
especially obviously now, it's out of the question.
Absolutely out of the question, and it's a damn shame. And here's his rebuttal. He feels like the story since Bray returned was very messy. Unfortunately, the Uncle Howdy stuff was very interesting at first, but we weren't getting no answers, so the story became confusing. Yeah, we never got any reveal, even though we all knew it was Bo Dallas.
But the thing is, we never got to the point because of the fact that Triple H loves the slow burn, but he slowed it too much for us that even we were like kind of like, So I get it.
I miss the Fiend. I do kind of wish he just continued the Fiend when he returned. They could have, but they obviously wanted to bring him back as the Eater of Worlds, and that's what they did. I mean, that pop at Extreme Rules was legendary. That was a legendary pop. And when he came back, I was thinking, MF was thinking, Bullock was thinking, maybe Daniel Luttrell was thinking, maybe our fellow fans were thinking, maybe, and especially with Triple H at the time running things, we all thought maybe, just maybe, he was finally going to go somewhere. But lo and behold, that this thing ended up selling like a lead balloon, unfortunately. So, amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Go back on Peacock, Extreme Rules. Go to the end after that fight pit match with Riddle and Rollins. Yeah. That was what a pop smelled like.
Mm.
And I hope they took a bow that night. So, all right. So with that, let's continue on here. Then The Miz came out and, whined and complained about Snoop Dogg forcing him into situations where he had to wrestle the likes of Pat McAfee, George Kittle, Shane McMahon, and even Snoop himself. And then, we finally got a return. And there's no one who can handle this better than our own Michael Bullock. So Michael Bullock, he's back, and you know what to do.
Bro.
Lifelike, isn't it? Yes, he is back. The original bro himself, Matt Riddle, back from his stint in rehab. Obviously, we all know he was suspended for failing a drug test, and we hadn't seen him for several months. But he finally returned last night. All he did was really beat up The Miz, so it was really a nothing segment. I will say this, however, great to see him back, and I hope and pray that he got the help that he needed.
Amen.
Because that's one of the many problems in this world today. Addiction and drugs and all that. So, but I pray for him. And of course, I'm definitely concerned about his future, obviously, considering who's running things. So, the one and only return of the night. I thought this was meant to be the night after Mania, where we get a bunch of returns and debuts. Yeah, absolutely.
You think?
And he says he's never been a fan of Matt Riddle. Unfortunately, I'm guessing it's more of the gimmick than the wrestler. You may not like the gimmick. I mean, the gimmick can be annoying. I mean, I consider him this generation's RVD. You know, I consider him RVD 2.0. And of course, they had that cool moment at WrestleMania 37, that backstage moment prior to his U.S. title match with Sheamus, but where he met RVD and the Great Khali when they both went into the Hall of Fame a couple years ago. But you may not like the gimmick, but the man can wrestle. He is a very good worker. I mean, he's one of them. He's also one of the many who took the Tribal Chief to the limit last year. Who could ever forget that awesome match they had on SmackDown last June? I mean, that was one of the best TV matches of the year. And that was the best match Riddle ever had. How many times did he come this close to dethroning the Tribal Chief?
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if he had? Oh, my goodness. The rub he would have gotten would have been monumental. But it was what it was. But he's back, and considering where we are nowadays with the creative, I don't know what's going to happen with him, but it is what it is. All right. Yep, he can put on great matches for sure. Absolutely, he can. So, all right. It was announced that next week, Riddle and The Miz will go one-on-one. So Riddle versus Miz, along with Becky Lynch and Lita versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan for the Women's Tag Team Championships. All right. Now we move on to what we thought was going to be the main event of the evening. Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa squaring off against the unlikely tag team of Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. The match never happened. And why did it not happen? Brock Lesnar beat the holy hell out of Cody Rhodes. Oh, man. And you thought things going to go from bad to worse for Cody. 24 hours before, he suffered, without a doubt, the most demoralizing loss of his entire career. The most demoralizing ending to a WrestleMania ever. I mean, that ending at 39, where Roman went over. I keep thinking, what if Daniel Bryan did not win the title at WrestleMania 30? What if Orton or, God forbid, Bautista went over that night? That's pretty much what we got in this one. I mean, we were all expecting the Bryan Danielson, the Kofi Kingston ending for Cody. Oh no, that did not happen. Most demoralizing loss of his career. The most demoralizing ending to a WrestleMania for sure. So demoralizing, it literally sucked the air and the positive vibes out of SoFi Stadium. It was almost like the Rams had lost in the Super Bowl to Cincinnati, for goodness sakes. But, oh man. But Brock Lesnar absolutely, positively beat the holy you-know-what out of Cody Rhodes. And MF, I think we all know where this is leading. Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, Puerto Rico?
Possibly, no doubts. It does open the door for that match to happen. And there's a lot of people who are very angry. But at that point in the game, it didn't matter anymore. Everybody had checked out. Everybody was so, whatever you want to say or whatever you felt, whatever your emotions were, we witnessed it. And yeah, it left a sour taste in the mouth. The beatdown was epic. The beatdown was emphatic. It was It went from Cowboy Brock, that was the lovable guy in the room, to basically Brock Lesnar going back to what he really is, the Beast incarnate, and absolutely destroyed Cody Rhodes in such a way that I've never seen anything like that in my career, in my life. I mean, there's been a few beatdowns in our day. Maybe when probably, I think the only other time I can ever remember where we had like an epic beatdown like that, I gotta go all the way back to like the Canadian earthquake when he destroyed Hulk Hogan. Like, I think it was that the Brother Love show or something like that. Or
that was done. That was done so Hogan could take time off to film. I believe it was Suburban Commando, I think.
Yeah. So you had that. Or, and I don't want to bring back a bad memory from Michael Bullock, but I'm going to do it. Or what about the time on or the time at the funeral parlor when Jake the Snake Roberts laid out the Undertaker, locked his hands into that casket, DDT to Paul Bearer, and then just absolutely wore out Taker with the steel chair. That led to the fight at WrestleMania 8. So, I mean, yeah, there's a number of incidences where we've seen epic beatdowns that was hard to watch.
Even though Fletch, those chair shots really didn't have that much of an effect on the Undertaker.
No, it didn't. But at the end, Taker was still laying.
Well,
he got laid out.
That. The worst Taker beatdown. The worst Taker beatdown was Royal Rumble '93 with the Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah,
that was the worst.
That too.
And my man Bret Hart, he experienced a beating. What about Yokozuna, the contract signing for WrestleMania 9?
Yeah.
So
I mean, we've had a few of them, but this was hard to watch. This was hard to watch. So, yeah, it does set up for Puerto Rico. If they don't want to do Puerto Rico, fine. You could do it at Saudi Arabia. You could do it at the O2 for Money in the Bank. There's a number of places you can go with this one. So, there's really nothing more to add. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this was definitely, I mean, this was an absolute beatdown, and come on, guys, I think we know who was behind all this.
McMagma.
Oh yeah. This had Vince's fingerprints all over it, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Let's not forget, that's Vince's boy, Brock Lesnar. I mean, we know, and he even admitted once on during an interview when he said, "Oh, Brock has those special privileges." So he literally admitted on TV that was his boy. I mean, yeah, that was like McMahon basically saying, "All right, Brock, go beat the you-know-what out of Cody Rhodes." So, yeah, I don't know what else is there to say. So, Florio, it's yours. I just don't know what else is there to say on this.
Well, if you read the comments from Daniel Luttrell here, he says, "I think Cody needs to struggle before getting that belt. So I did not mind Roman winning at Mania. This is all building to Cody versus Reigns 2 at SummerSlam, which is, of course, Saturday night, August 5th at Ford Field in Detroit. And I believe that the audience will be even more behind Cody when we get there. And having Cody beat Brock Lesnar in the near future will be epic and a great way for Cody to make his way back to Roman. And he's even going on the record and saying he thinks Cody's going to win the title at SummerSlam. Could happen.
I want to believe it, but in this point in the game, if he didn't get the title at WrestleMania, I really start to wonder if he's ever going to do it now.
Especially with Vince under control again.
Because, how many times did we were hoping that Roman was going to lose the title? And he did it?
Too many.
Way
I
too many
mean,
times.
Clash at the Castle, the pay-per-view, the Chamber,
Drew McIntyre.
Sammy.
WrestleMania. I mean, where do you go? So I get where you're coming from, Daniel, and you're absolutely right. And I think even Hunter was alluding to that at the WrestleMania press conference. You know, that this was the next chapter. Obviously, the chapters have now been hijacked, but we'll wait and see. But
Yeah, and I'll like this until the referee actually counts the 3 whenever if it does happen. I'm just not willing to buy it.
Fair enough. The big main event match, WWE hype throughout the night, did not happen. Instead, we got a one-sided beatdown. It'll be interesting to see where this leads, but it was a bit of a letdown at the end of a lackluster post-Mania Raw. The crowd was genuinely surprised when Brock Lesnar attacked Cody Rhodes, but his history should have told us this would happen. And something about the suplex into the timekeeper's area looked brutal. So, but, Daniel Luttrell with some great scenarios there. I think this is obviously leading to Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, maybe in Puerto Rico at Backlash. Very possible. Maybe Cody gets the win there and slowly but surely begins his road back to Roman. And, I mean, let's not forget, yes, SoFi Stadium is a big stadium, but let's not forget, Ford Field is just as big of a stadium. That can get 80,000 in there. It did for WrestleMania 23. And what about the pop when Bullock's man, The Undertaker, won the World Heavyweight Championship from Batista? So it can still happen.
Absolutely. The way I feel right now, as far as it goes, is that there's 3 fights that he needs to get through. Well, 2 fights that he would need to get through. Obviously, Brock is one, but he also has to get revenge on Solo Sikoa. That has to happen before he gets to Roman. So, because honestly, he needs that retribution for what happened. Because Solo single-handedly cost Cody the title at WrestleMania.
Yes.
So he needs to get that back. So he'll deal with Brock first. Once he gets past Brock, then he's got to get through Solo. Then I would say you open the door for him to get the opportunity at Roman and the belt.
All right. So with all that, it's now time for our overall review. And Michael Bullock, it starts with you here. We already know where you're heading with this, so there's nothing left to say. I'm not even going to bother asking the question. You already know what it is. Your thoughts on what ended up being the first Raw of the return of Nick Magma.
Okay, this was just this was a horrendous post-Raw after WrestleMania. I mean, the hype for this, they were building this. For some returns, what have you. But the only return we got was Matt Riddle. That's it. Nothing else. Yes, exactly, Daniel Luttrell. The only positives for me was the opening and ending segments of this match/segment. The rest of the show sucked. But the thing is, there were some positives too. We had some other matches, but unfortunately, the return of McMagma really ruined it for everybody. So much so, I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 10. I'm sorry. I'm being brutally honest here. And yeah, our worst fear came true when Vince McMahon once again was in creative control. I I feared the worst when we kept hearing everything, especially with the sale. I wanted to not believe it until today. And damn it to hell, I can't believe Vince McMahon is back. I mean, as soon as I heard, I'm like, WWE's in deep shit. And Vince McMahon is the most senile, he's the most vindictive, he is the most egotistical maniac. And he couldn't stoop to any lower level than this. I mean, for him to come up with a sneaky and quite frankly, a sneaky and low life way for him to find a way to get back to creative. I mean, you literally took it from underneath Triple H and said, I'm once again running the show. Did anybody want to see Vince McMahon back in creative control? Anybody?
Hell no.
No.
But McMahon being the low life piece of fucking garbage that he is, and he had to weasel his way. I mean, what a fucking trashy douchebag this guy is. I mean, the looks. I mean, he looks so stupid. He looks like fucking Gomez Adams from the Addams Family. I mean, we all thought when that McMahon retired, he was gone. Obviously, everything that was a freaking lie, and McMahon said, "Oh, I'm only coming back here for the sale. I'm not doing any of that creative stuff." That was another fucking lie. So everything that came out of McMahon's mouth were nothing but fucking lies. I mean, our worst fear has now become real, and I fear we're gonna get all the campy comedy nonsense. Maybe I really don't know. I mean, the only way McMahon will ever go away, and I don't want to sound like a mean person here, but the only way that happens is if Vince McMahon passes away. That's the only way this happens. But look, we're going to wait and see what happens with SmackDown Friday night. But if it's the same or even the worst worse than what we saw tonight, I'm the fear for the future of WWE. Because now with this, as I like to call him, the personification of evil back in creative control, this is not looking good for WWE right now. So yeah, 3.5 out of 10. Fuck you, Vince McMahon. I hope you rot in fucking hell, because you literally weaseled your way back into creative by being a sneaky low-life bastard that you are. I'm done. Fuck you, Vince McMahon. It's yours.
And as Daniel Luttrell once again said, trash episode. If Vince is back, it sucks for us all. 100% agree. Hopefully something can change soon so we can get back to the Triple H era, especially before SummerSlam. Hopefully we will see better times soon.
Yeah, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Now that Vince is back,
the only way is that I think because remember, now WWE is the minority of this merger. This would have to come from Endeavor themselves. They would have to be like, yo, no, Vince. Because now you got to start thinking about this. Even though they did this merger, who holds more stock?
Endeavor.
UFC.
51%,
Endeavor.
51% to 49%.
So they now have majority stock. So that means anything that WWE does is through them. They actually can tell Vince, no, you're going to have to give this up. Vince cannot do anything about it now. So he's got to be very, very, very careful with the moves he makes from here on in, because back then he could do something and everybody would have to bow down to it. Somebody could say, no, Vince, and Vince is going to have to listen to them now. So even though Endeavor's like, no, this is your entity, this is your thing, we're not going to get involved. But if you start costing them money and costing them, endorsements and all this stuff, Endeavor's going to have to do something. They would actually have the legal right to step in and stop this. If they're going to do it, now that's another story for another day. But they actually are the only ones that can stop this right now, more than any other team.
And one last comment here from Daniel Ochoa. Great to hear from you guys again. Been a long time. Keep smashing it. Talk to you all soon. And Daniel Ochoa, on behalf of all of us here, we simply say thank you very much for taking the time to not only stay up with us, but to also chip in with your thoughts. And as we said years ago, when you once joined us on our show, you're welcome to join us anytime. So
you got it, man. Yeah, that offer is always on the table, my friend. That offer is always on the table. Doesn't matter what the company is. Yeah, you used to do it on another platform. You're always welcome on Talking Wrestling TXN, man. Cheers to you. Cheers to your wife. Cheers to your baby. Hope everything's good over there. And yeah, God bless, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, but getting back to this, do you really think anybody's gonna is gonna have the cojones to go to Vince saying no, you can't do that?
No.
Oh yeah.
I'll believe it.
If you're messing with money, if you're messing with the company, remember, I think Endeavor would. They would stick their foot in there. Now I know we're like, oh no. No, Endeavor would. Trust me. They've stopped Dana White. They actually stopped Dana White from putting any UFC events when COVID happened. So they have. They're not afraid. They will shut WWE down if they wanted to. They will shut them down.
I'll believe it when I see it.
All right.
My sentiments exactly.
Well, I'm not afraid of it because Endeavor shut it down to UFC when COVID hit, when Dana White wanted to push it, and they told him no. And even ESPN shut them down. So no, it's possible.
But we're talking man here.
So what?
Well,
they shut it. If they shut it,
I'll believe it when I see it. That's all I'll say.
Like I said, they had Dana White, and Dana White is just as a hard ass as Vince McMahon is, and they shutted him down. You don't think Endeavor's not going to shut McMahon down in WWE? They will. Rest assured you, they will.
Hope and pray you're right, Matt. Hope and pray you're right.
I hope you're right, Fletch. I really hope so, because this is Vince McMahon we're talking about here.
Yeah,
and the bastard who thinks he can get away with anything. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that man should be rotting in prison right now for some of the things he's done.
Absolutely. I'm not going to disagree with that. And you're absolutely right about that. I'm not hey, there's no argument coming from me with that one. What you said is absolutely gospel. I'm not going to you're preaching to the choir on that one, Bullock, no doubt.
Well, I don't know what else there is to say except for me here. I'll say it like this: in the immortal words of Jesse the Body Ventura, when it came to Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 5, when it comes to Vinnie Mac, he'll stoop to any level. He'll stoop to any level to get what he wants.
Agreed.
And if it means lying and hurting other people, that's an added bonus.
Yep.
So. and he lied, and who did he hurt? He hurt Triple H, but most of all, he hurt all of us. Simple. 3.5 to 4 out of 10 is my rating for this. Fight of the night, Street Profits versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Second best fight of the night, Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio. Third best fight of the night, that women's tag team matchup. A couple of good segments here and there, but our worst nightmare, unfortunately, for the moment, it is a reality. But the thing is, before we fully go off the deep end and push the damn panic button, let's wait and see what happens Friday night.
Yeah.
If Friday night is just as bad or, God forbid, worse than what we saw last night, then and only then we'll fully be convinced that it's all McMagma's game. But if Friday's show ends up being far better than what we saw last night, then maybe, I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But let's wait and see what happens on Friday before we decisively push the old panic button. But after last night, it's panic. It's definitely trending toward a pushing of the panic and worry button. So 3.5 to 4 out of 10 for me. MF, final say on this, and then I'll quickly get into my special Tony's take here.
Yeah, it is a 3.5 to 4, no doubt about it. I think Friday is going to be the litmus test. And that's going to be the one that we're going to wait and see, because I think a lot of people are on edge. Not only just WWE, but, wrestling as a whole. Because a lot of people feel like that he is, because of the fact that Vince was very heavily involved in Monday Night Raw. No doubts. But the thing was that just a one-off? Or is that just signs of things to come? We don't know. All we know is right now, we're just going to wait and see how it plays out. Obviously, the panic button is definitely being pressed. There's really nothing more to add. So, yeah, 3.5 to 4. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. Tony's take. I'm not going to do a full review here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to share the results of last Thursday night's Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling Special, Multiverse United, Only the Strong Survive, from the Globe Theater in Los Angeles, California. Started off with a pre-show match. It was Yuya Uemura squaring off against Gabriel Kidd. Yuya Uemura wins the match, 7 minutes and 52 seconds. 6-way scramble match for the X Division Championship. Trey Miguel, the champion, defending against Clark Connors, Frankie Kazarian, Kevin Knight, Rich Swann, and Rocky Romero. Winner of the match in 7 minutes and 11 seconds, and still the X Division champion. It is Trey Miguel. 8-man tag team match. Alex Coughlin, Callahan, Fred Rosser, and PCO squaring off against Eddie Edwards, Joe Henry, and Team Filthy, Tom Lawler and JR Kratos. Coughlin, Callahan, Rosser, and PCO win the match, 12 minutes and 24 seconds. Moose going up against Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb wins the match, 11 minutes and 51 seconds. Then we had a 4-way knockouts match to determine who would be added to the Knockouts Championship match at the Rebellion pay-per-view on the 16th of this month. It was Miyu Yamashita squaring off against Masha Slamovich, Giselle Shaw, and the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. Winner of the match, 9 minutes and 20 seconds. The virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. She's going to go, she will challenge for the Knockouts Championship at Rebellion. 4-way match for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. Champions, the Bullet Club, Ace Austin and Chris Bay defending against the Motor City Machine Guns. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. And TMDK, Bad Dude Tito and Shane Haste. Winners of the match in 13 minutes and 22 seconds, and still the Impact World Tag Team Champions, Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Kushida, one-on-one with the man of the hour, Leo Rush. Kushida wins the match, 12 minutes, 42 seconds. And then we had the battle for the Strong Openweight Championship. The champion, Kenta, defending against Minoru Suzuki. Winner of the match, 15 minutes and 27 seconds. And still the Strong Openweight champion, Kenta. And in the main event, Speedball Mike Bailey. He was originally scheduled to face Will Ospreay, but they found a more than adequate replacement. Hiroshi Tanahashi And the winner of the match, 15 minutes and 16 seconds, Hiroshi Tanahashi won the match. So that's what happened last Thursday at the Impact Wrestling Multiverse United special. And with that will put the bow on this very special Tuesday edition of Ridiculously Raw. Once again, special thanks to our dear friend Daniel Luttrell for taking the time to not only stay up with us, but also to post his thoughts on certain things we got into tonight. And we definitely appreciate it. And again, as we say, if you ever want to join us again, the offer's always on the table, brother. Simple as that. And we very much appreciate you joining us here tonight. And we want to also thank all of you out there for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you tomorrow night, 10:30 over on MF's channel, BraceFan95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Madness. And on that show, it'll be, of course, all about NXT and AEW Dynamite, loaded AEW Dynamite, mind you. Thursday, not so loaded TXN Sports World, 10:30. Light docket this week. We'll only be recapping the national championship game for the men's and women's tournaments, and we'll preview week 8 of the XFL. And then Friday night, Cerebral Smack Talk. MF will have that. Friday night SmackDown, AEW Rampage from our neck of the woods, Kingston, Rhode Island. And MF, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or Friday, but I'm sure you'll do a Mikey's Mindset on the Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor at some point, I'm sure. So we'll see what MF has to say about which show he'll do that on. So and then Monday night we do it all again when we go back to our traditional time for Ridiculously Raw. Will we still be stuck in McMagma mode, or was last night's show just a one-off? I pray for that, but we'll see. But with that, that will put the bow on this. So until tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Madness, it's Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the phenom Michael Bullock, the first lady of the show, Dee Dee Woodson, and of course, our dear friend Daniel Luttrell. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Wednesday. And until tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching this special Tuesday edition of Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, and especially after last night, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.